Guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a termination system for either your clients or your employees in your agency, company, or your business. Let's get started. I'm using Monday.com as my CRM. Here, I have two separate lists. One is for the clients and the other one is for the employees. First system that we are going to create is a termination system for a client. So if you have a client and you're trying to terminate a contract with this client, you can choose to automate the termination process without you having to get involved with the termination of this particular client. Just by setting up a simple automation on make.com that will get the client's data from Monday, then it will retrieve any pending payments involved with this client. If there are any payments that needs to be sent to this client, the automation will send the payments to the client and then send them a termination email of all the reasons why you're terminating the contract to their specific client. Let's start setting up the automation on make.com. On make.com, you'll create a new scenario. After creating a scenario here, we will rename our scenario to client termination system. The first thing we'll do is retrieve all the data of this client. We're going to do that using status by setting up a webhook from Monday. So here, search for Monday and then click on watchboard column values. So when the status changes to terminate, we're going to begin running our client termination system. So on watchboard column value here, you're going to create a webhook. To create a webhook, click on add. Here we can rename our webhook to client termination system. And then here click on add, and then here we'll need to add our API key. So go back to money.com and on your profile, click on administration. On administration, click on connection and then API. And then here you'll see your API token. You'll just copy it and then go back to your make automation, paste your API key, then click on save. After your connection has been created, you'll choose the board ID. Our board ID is the client's list. So for the board ID, I'll choose the client's list, and then we are looking for the items column value updates, and then click on save. And now click on OK. So now our webhook has been created on make.com. Now to ensure that our webhook will run on Monday, here we're going to integrate. On templates, we're going to click on webhooks. We're going to send a webhook after our status changes to terminate. So here we are going to click on when our status changes to something, and then on automation, here we are going to click on show address and then copy the address to clipboard. And then here we're going to connect our webhook to Monday by clicking use another account and then pasting the link right here and then clicking on connect. So we now have connected make automation on make with Monday. All we have to do is just choose when we want to run our webhook. We want to run our webhook when our status changes to terminate, and then click on add board. With our webhook set up, here we can click on intake, and then here to test if our webhook is working, we can click on run once and then click on wait for new data. Now when we change our status to terminate, you'll see that our webhook will run successfully and we will have our client right here. Now to get all the details of our client, we'll need to add another module called get an item. Here we will click on the right connection. For the ID, we are going to add our pulse ID. For the board ID, we're still going to add clients and lists and then click on OK. So now when we run this module, first of all, we'll need the pulse ID from here. Copy it. So now when we run this module only, we'll paste our ID right here and then click on OK. Now we have all the details of our client that would like to terminate our contract. So here we're getting the date he was created, the last updated, the status, first name, last name, company, email, phone number, and his location. With all this information, this is the information that we are going to use to send the client a termination email. Now that we have all the data of our client, we can choose to check if there is any outstanding amount that needs to be sent to this client. To do that, we're going to use Stripe. So here I'll choose Stripe. And on Stripe, I'm going to list our customers and connect it to a module right here. Can auto align it. Now with that, we have all the customers. We're going to pick the specific customer that we are looking to terminate. So here we are going to retrieve a customer. On list all customers module, here we're going to add the email of the specific customer or client that we are looking to terminate. So you can choose to add an email manually. Limit, you can just set it to 1 because it's one specific client, and then click on OK. Now to retrieve the customer, we're going to add our customer ID. Customer ID, we're going to add our customer ID from the list all customers module. You can choose to expand by all these details right here, but for now I'm going to just click on OK. To create a payout for this customer or client, here we're going to click on Stripe and then search for payouts. Click on create a payout, and here you can add an amount. For example, $70. Description, here you can add a description right here. I'll choose to leave all these other details as is and then click on OK. With our payout, we can retrieve our payout. Now for the payout, here we're going to select amount and click on OK. So now with our automation, we have picked the client that we like to terminate, checked if they have any outstanding payouts, and then if they have any payouts, we have created a payout right here, and then we're going to send them the payout. The last thing we'll do is just send them the termination email. So here I'm going to search for email, and then click on send an email. On our email here, we'll choose either if we want to save the message after sending, then here we can add the client's email. So here we're going to scroll down below to the get items module to get the specific email for this client. Here now we can begin writing our email. So for the subject line could be notice of termination. Then for the content type, we're going to use HTML. And for the content, I'm going to paste this email template that I sourced from ChatGPT. So here for the dear, we can add a first name. So going back to our get item module, here we're going to add our first name. So dear first name. I hope this message finds you well. Then I'm going ahead and explaining how the termination process will be seamless. So to facilitate a smooth transition, we'll ensure that you receive your final paycheck, benefits, references, and all these other details. And then after that you've written the email, you can click on OK. And now our system is set up the right way. So here we can auto align our system. How this automation works, first of all, it's triggered when our status changes to terminate. And then the webhook will run and will retrieve all the details of the specific client that we are trying to terminate. With the data, we're going to use that data of the specific client to write a personalized email of termination and why we are terminating our contract with the client. After we have his details right here, we are checking if there's any outstanding payment that needs to be made for this specific client. So here we are listing our customers. We are retrieving the specific customer. We are creating a payout right here and then retrieving the payout and then sending it to the client. And then lastly, we are writing a personalized email for this client on all the reasons why we are terminating our contract with this client. So this is a client termination system that you can set up right now for your company, your business, or your agency. By setting up this automation and terminating your client without you having to get involved in writing the email, sending the payouts, and all these other details that need to happen in order to terminate your project with this client. It was just a simple client termination system that you can set up right now for your business. You can also do this for your employees. Back to our CRM. On our employees list, here you'll see the list of our employees. To create a termination system for our employees, I'll start by renaming my scenario to employees termination system. Then instead of just repeating the entire thing from the start, I'll just copy it. I'm copying all modules. And then here I'll paste all the modules right here. For this one, I choose to start running the automation right here. For our employees termination system, it will run after our status changes to terminate. I'll create a new webhook by clicking Add. Then on our employees, I'll click on my profile, and then administration, then connection, API, and copy our API key. And then here I will rename our webhook to employees termination system. And then click on add, and then here I'll add the API key that we just copied, and click on save. For the board ID, this time around we are going to choose employees list. And then for the update type, we're going to choose items column value update, and click on save. With our webhook created, we're going to copy our address to clipboard and then click on OK. So now when we go back to our CRM, we're going to click on integrate to create our webhook that will run our automation. Templates, I'm going to click on webhooks and then click on when status changes to something, send a webhook. And then here I'll choose to add another account and paste the link that we just copied right here. Then click on connect. This time around, we're going to call our webhook when status changes to terminate. We're going to click on add to board. Test if automation works perfectly. We're going to first of all unlink this. And then on the get items, we're going to choose the right connection, which is employees onboarding system. The pulse ID we're going to use and only change the board ID to employees list and then click on OK. To test if our webhook is working, we're going to click on run once. And then on our employees list, we're going to terminate one of our employees. So you can see that it's running successfully. We got the details of David Liam. Now his details are right here. So these are the details that we're going to write a personalized email for this particular employee. Now we're going to connect the rest of the automation. So here we're going to list all our employees and then add a specific email for this particular employee. So it's David Liam. Limit, you can choose it to be 1 since we are only terminating on one employee. To retrieve the customer, we're going to use the customer ID and click on OK. And then here we're going to create a payout. So you're going to add the specific amount right here that you want to pay this particular employee. The currency, choose to add the currency right here. Then after adding the amount, currency, and description, you can just add all this other data if you like. But after adding the amount, currency, and description, you can click on OK, and then retrieve the particular payout. And lastly, you can add this email module where now you write a personalized email outlining why you're terminating your relationship with this particular employee. Here you're going to create an email connection with make. Over here on email address, you're going to choose a specific email address of the employee. So we're going to add the specific email for the employee. And here I'm going to add the first name of the employee. It's going to be David. You can say notice of termination and then add a name. So for example, David. And then here, this is just an employee termination email that I asked ChatGPT to write for me. So you can choose to make it more personalized by adding more details right here. After writing the email and everything looks perfect, you're going to click on OK. After our status changes to terminate, the webhook will run and get the details of that specific employee that we are trying to terminate. On Stripe, we'll list all the employees and get the specific employee that we are trying to terminate through their email. After getting the email of the specific employee, we are going to check if there's any outstanding payment that needs to be made to this employee. If there is an outstanding payment, we're going to create a payout, then retrieve the payout and send it to the employee. And then lastly, we're going to write a personalized email for this particular employee. These are 2 termination systems that you can set up right now in your business. The first one is a client termination system, and the other one is an employee termination system. By setting up both of these systems will save you a tremendous amount of time that is involved in terminating a client or an employee. Thanks for watching. If you have a specific automation that you'd like for me to create, comment down below in the comment section. If I find a comment intriguing, I'll come back on a future video, building the entire automation for you live on a future video. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.